Hello everyone, welcome to our channel Wisdom ML. So in this video, we will be seeing how we can build an interactive web app, no code at all, okay, using Streamlit. And this web app is basically a complete natural language processing web app in which we will be adding 5 key important tasks which we usually do using NLP. Okay, so first one is the advanced text summarizer, named entity recognition, sentiment analysis, question answering, and text completion. These are the 5 key tasks we will be adding in this web app. And uh, behind that, how we will be using or creating these features. Basically, for that, we will be using a HuggingFace transformer to use pre-trained models in NLP and do these tasks. And for named entity recognition, we'll be using spaCy. As you know, that spaCy is a very popular library, open source library for doing NLP tasks. So for that, we'll be using spaCy. Apart from that, this web app, as you are seeing, this is created using Streamlit. So as you know, Streamlit is a open source Python library, okay, for creating very low code application. So if you really want to showcase your model, okay, to your client, or if you want to share your work based on your analysis or based on your machine learning models which you have built, if you want to show or add into your profile portfolio project, you can use this Streamlit for building some basic level of UI into it. And you can see that it's very easy. You have to just enter certain two-liner code and the UI will be created. As you can see, for adding slider, you have to enter only st.slider, mention the text, okay, and then st.read, and that's it. You can see that by just sliding it, this UI component with certain logic is already created. So how easy it is, you can see that, and it's really a boon for every data scientist and machine learning engineer who wants to showcase their work to the client or to their team. So apart from that, you can also deploy your application on Streamlit server. Okay, and that's also very easy. You have to just create your you have to arrange your code in GitHub repo, and you have to just link your GitHub repo to the Streamlit sharing server, and then that's it. They're not a very complex steps. Okay. So let's come to our app, that is an NLP Web app, how we have built it. So let me show you the structure of our app. So you can see that nothing complex in it, just one Python file we have. And apart from that, this is the banner image which we are actually showing in this home page. Okay, and then we have normal README and requirements. So requirements is nothing but the libraries which we have used for basically integrating or using different components like HuggingFace transformers and spaCy and certain library of Streamlit. Okay, so whichever things are required for building this app is mentioned in requirements. So that's it. These are the 3 files. App, this image, and requirements are only used for building this. So let me show you the capability of this app. So let me first select Summarizer. So here you have to mention your text which you want to summarize, and here you have to mention the number of words which you want in your summary results. So I have some write-up on NLP. So let me paste it. It is around 142 words. Okay. So what we'll be doing here, we'll just want summary in only maybe 30 words. So once you click on 30 and just click outside, the model will load in this, and it will just call the Streamlit server to bring the results here in this area. This is the output area. So it will take some time to run. So this app I'm actually running on a local host, that is 8501 port. So as you can see, this is the result of our summary result for 142 words long write-up on NLP. And this is also quite contextual. You can see that it's not just the extractive summary, where extractive summary is something which is taken important sentences from the original text and put it in the summary. But you can see that it is just understand the context and given the summary. So this is the power of transformer, HuggingFace transformer. Okay. So now comes another feature, that is our named entity recognition. So for named entity recognition, we have used spaCy, and for visualizing the result, we have used spaCy Streamlit, so that we can properly highlight which entities uh, belongs to which labels. Okay. So there's another write-up on WHO. Let me just copy it and paste it in our text box for NER task. And once you click outside, it will load the model and fetch the result, and it will show you the result like this. You can see that it is highlighting some of the key entities, like WHO is organization, United Nations is organization, and Geneva, Switzerland is geopolitical entity. It's a country. Okay. Apart from that, all the numbers it has properly highlighted as cardinal, that is number, and date is also properly highlighted. So you can see that all the important entities which are present within this text is properly highlighted. You can also access it or use it in your application. Apart from that, you can see here we have proper labeling mapping table, where you can see that first entity, whatever the entity names or labels are mentioned here, and what is the actual entity. So whether it is organization, cardinal, date, geopolitical entity mentioned here, and this will give the starting and ending position of this particular entity. Okay. So this is a very detailed table where you can see the result of your NER. Okay. And the best part is, so some of this interactiveness, how will actually integrate interactiveness within this app. So you can see that this is the select entity label. So if you want to see only certain entities, like only WHO, okay. So these are the actual entities which are present in our model. You can see that these are the actual entities. So you can delete you can delete these things. Okay. So cardinal date will not be shown, and only certain entities you can filter, and if you want to see, it will come here. So this is our named entity recognition task within this app. Another feature is sentiment analysis, which we are using. So sentiment analysis, something if we want to analyze actual sentiment behind any sentence or any review, so we generally use it. And generally, retail companies or retail websites use it for analyzing the actual context or the sentiment of the users for rating their products. So instead of only relying on ratings, generally we have to see the actual context and the sentiment of the sentence. So here what we have to do, once we click on segment analysis, it will load the app. So it will take some time, okay, to load the sentiment analysis part here. So this is our main page. And this is you can see the sidebar where all the options we are to. So this is our sentiment analysis part. And for this, we'll be using real-time Amazon review to check the performance of this model. And for this also, we are using pre-trained transformer model into it. So I'm just taking one positive review from Amazon website against one particular laptop. So let me just paste it and see what it will give. So as I told you, this is the positive review, great laptop at this deal, and we have taken the body part of this review, and let's see what will be the result. So you can see it is loading the model and fetching the result, and this effect we have given. So you can see that it has correctly predicted it is positive sentiment. So let me just paste any negative sentiment. So maybe uh, so you can see if we just copy this, uh, so it should give negative review, okay, negative sentiment because they're showing the issues in the laptop. Okay, so this is negative, correctly predicted as. So you can see that no fine tuning, nothing you have to do. You can use any pre-trained model using HuggingFace transformer. That is the power of HuggingFace transformers. These are completely open source, so you can use it for giving real-time sentiments of a particular text or sentence. So this is the sentiment analysis. Next, we have question answering. So this is also very interesting use case, and here you have to enter the actual context or maybe reading passage or the text from where if you want to give the question, right? If you ask certain question regarding this context, so the model will give the results based on the context you mentioned here. So let me open a very good website, that is continuingstudies.uvic.ca. Here we are using one passage regarding uh, story of a dog. Okay, positive effects on children of owning a dog. So I'm just copying this whole context into it. Okay, and for question, we can easily see any question which is mentioned here. Let's say what the dog's name is. Okay. A simple word, one word question. I'm just pasting it. And if you click outside, it will analyze the whole context and will find the answers of this question which you mentioned. So you can see that here's your answer. So let me see that whether the answer is actually tip or not. So Brendan best friend is Tip. Tip and Brendan are inseparable. That each other things and they took after each other. Tip has helped Brendan. So you can see that within this whole reading passage, somewhere it is mentioned like Tip is a 10-year-old dog. Okay, so from there it has understand and read the whole context and understand that no, Tip is an actual dog. So that's why if we given what is the dog's name, so it has given the result tip. So let me give another question that is more what kind of love does a dog provide? So if the answer is mentioned in the context, you can analyze and give the result. So it will actually read a whole context, find the result of this question, and will give in here. So you can see that here's your answer: unconditional. What kind of love does a dog provide? So that is the power of HuggingFace transformer. You can see that you can use any pre-trained question answering tool and integrate into your web app using Stream. So last task we have is the text completion. So text completion we can use. Uh, so for text completion we have also used HuggingFace transformer for integrating text completion model into it. So let me add one sentence which may be incomplete. I am completely amazed after seeing this. And when we click outside, it will complete this sentence into a proper contextual sentence. So So you can see that I am completely amazed after seeing this product in the store. The quality is better than expected. I bought this from a Home Depot and it was great. This stuff is awesome, and the only issues I have with my K8 is that. So you can see that certain things are not actually completed. For that, we can basically trim the results into till last full stop. That we can do, and that we actually doing in our summary also, because once you generate the summary of the whole test and give the number of words, so it is not always possible to trim the summary to exact 50 words. So that's why it is very important to give the contextual summary. We should trim the uncompleted part. Okay, so but you can see that it has done a pretty good job in completing this sentence and gave actual context to this sentence. So this is the demo of our web app. So now come to our code, how we are actually doing it. So you can see that this is our web.py, this is our main file, which is actually used in building this. And what we are doing, we are importing some of the important libraries which are used here. That is Streamlit, um, STQDM. So the part which we are showing you, like this one, if we click, let's say, named entity recognition, and if we paste something like this, so what we are doing actually, we are loading our model. So to not, so to give the user a feel that model is loading in the backend and giving the result. So instead of waiting, it will give a good feel that please wait a bit, the model is fetching the result. So this part is basically we are integrating using STQDM that is already available with the support of Streamlit. So you can use it and give the feel like model is loading and you have to wait. Next, we are using transformer from HuggingFace transformers. Okay, so you have to install transformer, and for uh, from transformer we are importing pipeline for using different tasks. Apart from that, we are also using spaCy and spaCy Streamlit. So as you can see, spaCy is used for actually extracting entities in any general sentence, and so these are the actual entities which it extracted, but actually showing in this form by highlighting the entities in this form and the labels and this one table. So for that we are using spaCy Streamlit, which will help in analyzing and visualizing the entities and results. So let's start with the code. So how we are doing things. Okay. So first of all, we should go to our default form. So this is our default form. And for getting this, what we have to do. So first of all, we have to do is to run our right. So let me just stop it, and so and now what we can do. First of all, we have to install all our libraries using creating one environment. virtual environment and pip install -r requirements dot requirements.txt. So what it will do, it will install all the libraries which are mentioned in your requirement.txt that already we know. So now what I have done, so I'm not showing those steps. We have activated our environment, that is NLP env. Now we have to start our Streamlit server to render this web. So for that we have to enter Streamlit run and your actual main Python file name on which you have actually coded the whole thing. So that is .py. When we click, when we hit enter, so it will start the Streamlit server and render this file. Okay. So you can see that the this web app is loading. Okay, so now come to the part how we are coding these things. So this is the basic structure. So what we are doing here, we are actually populating this sidebar where we have given the actual uh, description of the web app with heading. This is a key feature tab. Here we are giving the option to select what you want to do. So this is the sidebar, and this is our main page. Okay, where we also have some description on this image as a default image. So how we are doing this basically? So for doing this, we are actually using draw all. So what we can do here, so if we are mentioning it as a function, so let me just arrange it as a function so that you'll not be confused what we mean here. So it's just a normal Python function. So we have written uh, draw, and in here we are writing which we want to actually write in the uh, as a description. So how we are using? So for writing anything on Streamlit app, you have to mention st.write bracket, and you have to uh, mention your whole text. So if it is a multi-line text, so we can mention by using 3 double quotes, starting and ending, and then we have to uh, properly uh, arrange your text in the form as we write in Markdown. So hash NLP Web App will give the heading. Okay. So finish. Wait. Yeah. The NLP Web App, that can see it is a bold. So that is we are giving to hash, one hash. So next we have this description. Okay. So this description we are actually giving by simply writing. So you can see this is the actual text which we are writing here. Next, we have given a separate div where it is its background is also somewhat different. So this is basically a code layout, a code type of div that is possible if you mention 3 single quotes and then Python, and whatever you write within this, it will be taken as a code layout or code div. So that is very cool feature of this. Apart from that, we are also given this drop-down list. So, so first of all, this is our actual thing which we are actually writing on our web app. So for that, what we are doing is we are basically using st.sidebar and mention everything, that is the function draw all bracket sidebar. So it will write everything which are mentioned in this draw all function on the sidebar, as you can see here. Okay. Now comes the question that how we are giving this drop down. So for giving this drop down, basically we have to mention it within our uh, uh, main function. Okay. So here also, as you can see, we are mentioning certain things like heading and some text, and then we have one image. So for that, we are mentioning st.title, because if you want to give heading to the main page, that is a main page, main div, so you have to write st.title, which will give the title to the end. So that is an NLP Web app. Then for showing drop down in the sidebar, what we are doing is we are creating one list where we are mentioned all the options, that is summarizer, identity recognition, sentiment analysis, question answering, text completion. And then we are creating one variable, that is drop down variable. And here we are mentioning st.sidebar.select. So st.sidebar means it will draw this whole drop down in the sidebar. And here we are mentioning the default choose what we want to do, and also in the menu which we have just created. So it will load the options of the drop down in this order which is mentioned in this list. Next, so if we select choice is equal to select, which means this is the default choice, and whatever is the first choice is the default choice. So we have keep it as select. So if it is as it is, so what we are doing is we are writing certain things like this is natural language processing web app, or basic description of the web, and we are also plotting one image, that is binary. So you can see that this is the default page, and we are writing these things with proper spacing, and then we are also plotting this image. So this is in the case when we have a default. And if we click on summarizer, you can see the text changed, but the title remains the same. So now what we have to do is we have to see if the choice is summarized at any point of time. Then we are giving subheader, that is text summarization, as you can see, summarization. And again, we are writing some text. Then we are giving one text area, that is this text area, where we are mentioning that whatever is the text which we want to show as a default, it's in the text box. And below that, we are giving number input as the input, like this one, how many word summary you want. And that's it. It will be created. Now we have to code our logic. So for that, what we are doing is whatever we are receiving from text area, we are checking it should not be blank, and the number of words should not be none, because we have to give certain number for generating the summary. So for that, what we are doing is we are converting whatever we will be entering and receiving in the number of words, we are converting into int. Then we are calling our pipeline. So this is our HuggingFace transformers pipeline, in which we have passed the parameter as summarization. So whatever you will pass within this pipeline, that model will be loaded in the backend and will give the results accordingly. So you can see that we have created a summarizer object. So within summarizer object, we have to pass certain parameters, that what is the actual text which we want to summarize, that is raw text. Then what is the minimum length in terms of number of words which you have just created, and maximum length also. So in this case, we have kept it as 50. So now the question is, whatever the summary we will be getting, it should be what we have to do. We have to convert it into JSON, and for converting into JSON, we have to use JSON.dumps. So whatever the output will be getting, we'll keep it as summary subscript 0. So it will give all the summary in this, and we'll make it in the form of JSON. And then we'll be loading this JSON which we have just created, and we have to mention if we want to just see the summary text. So this D2 is the variable, JSON variable. Here we are saying that D2 summary text, so it will give the textual summary. Now the important part, that what I've told you, that sometimes what happen when we generate summary, So it will give result something like dot, and then there will be no capitalization. So for that, what we are doing is we are joining everything with dot, and then we are capitalizing it after the dot. Okay, so it should give a feel like it is a proper continuation of the sentence, and then we are splitting it by dot. So by splitting it with dot and capitalizing it, you will be getting output something like this. You can see, enter your text here, dot, enter your text here. So it will give a feeling of it is a proper contextual sentence. So let me show again our summary. So whatever we have just copied from here, it should give a summary in a proper format. So let me give it just 30 words. So it will generate the summary, and you will understand what we want to say in terms of full stop, trimming, and capitalization. So you can see that this is our summary. Okay. Interestingly, in this summary, we have only one dot. Okay. But in case we have continuation of the sentences, so it should start from capital letters after the full stop. So that is the code which I am showing to you, in which we are converting, capitalizing it after the dots. Next important part, sometimes what happens when we trim our result in the form of number of words in the summary. So in that case, sometimes what happens is your context may not be complete, and maybe after full stop, your summary text will be incomplete. So it will give a feeling that is an incomplete summary or not a proper summary. So for actually converting into a proper summary, what we are doing is basically we are first splitting by all the sentences by dots. Okay. Then we are trimming the last sentence, which is in, and how we are doing it. So for that, we have created trim last function. So if we go to trim last function, we are receiving the sentences, list of sentences, and we are finding that whether a full stop present within the last sentence or not. If it is not present, we are returning everything except the last sentence. Else, if we have dot or full stop in the last sentence, we are returning by joining all the sentences into one string list of. So here we can see that we are getting the result summary after applying this function, and that we are actually showing here in the result section. So this is the second, this is the first task. Now the named entity recognition. For named entity recognition, we are using spaCy. Basically, spaCy N-Core Web SM model is a medium model which use minimum set of English vocabs, and for loading we have to use using spaCy.load. Now if we select on name entity recognition, our text is changed. We have one text box in which we have to paste the text which we for which we want entities. So like that, we have to mention st subheader st.write. So st.write, and now we are giving another text area where we have to enter the text which you want to analyze. Again, we are checking that this raw text should not be enter text here, because enter text here is the default text. Okay, placeholder text. So if it is not, and everything is present in it, anything present in it, so what we are doing, we are loading our model. So whatever the model we have loaded in the NLP object, we are passing raw text within the spaCy load object, that is raw text. And now what we are doing, the feeling of giving weighting results, right? Let me show again, just this one. So this effect which we are giving, the weighting effect, loading model, this effect is provided using STQDM. So what we have to do, we have to pass it as for in STQDM range 50. Okay, and it will give some description like please wait a bit, the model is fetching the result or as per your requirement. And we are keeping the result to wait for 0.1. Okay, so that the system will sleep for this amount of time, and when the time completes, it will load the results. So for loading this result, you can see the entities and this label, full labels, whatever the labels available in the model, and this table. So whole thing is possible if we just use one single line, that is spaCy underscore streamlit dot visualize NEM. So, and here we have to pass the actual doc which we have created here, labels, that is NLP dot get pipe, and we have to pass NER task dot label. So we'll get all the labels. Labels are nothing but this one, all the labels which are showing here, and the title, that is list of titles, list of titles, list of entities, sorry, list of entities. So that is we are showing using the spaCy Streamlit. Next, another thing, that is sentiment analysis. For sentiment analysis, again we have to change our subheader, and after that what we are doing is loading the pipeline and mentioning sentiment analysis. So it will load the sentiment analysis based transformer model, and we have to pass the text which we want to analyze in the text area. And again, it will give sentiment analysis on this. We have to pass our raw text and get the zeroth value, which is the actual prediction. And in here, we have to take the label part of the result, because else it will give the probabilities around. So we only want the actual label, whether it is positive, negative, or neutral. And again, we are using STQDM here for giving a feeling of please wait a bit, the model is fetching that. Now, if we get the label as positive, we are giving this sentence as output. Okay, again negative, then this, and for neutral, then this. So like that, we are giving the we are coding the sentiment analysis part. Now comes the question answering part. So in question answering part, we are giving two text boxes basically. One is the context, another one is the actual question which we'll be asking based on the context. Now what we are doing is we are basically checking whether context should not be enter text here, which is the placeholder text. Question should not be enter your question here. So let me open this first. So these two text boxes. Now what we are doing is we are creating a question answering this one, which we have created already in here. So in the pipeline, we have mentioned question answering, and the object we have created is question underscore answering. And within this object, we are passing two things, that is question and the context. And whatever the result we'll be getting, we'll dump it to a JSON and load that JSON. And we are now extracting answer from. So in this JSON, we have certain keys and their values, key value pairs. So if you analyze this, the transformers question answering part, you will see that in this JSON, you will get one key as answer. So that is our main area of interest. So we'll extract by passing D to answer. And then what we are doing is we are combining this generated text by dot and capitalizing and splitting by dot, so that if the answer is should be in sentence, so it should be properly formatted. And now we are just outputting the result using st.com. Okay. Next, the last part, that is text completion. So text completion, if we select text completion, again you can see this subheader is changed. Okay, this text also comes from here. Enter the incomplete or incomplete text to complete it automatically using AI. And this is our placeholder, enter text to complete, and this is our text box. So what we are doing is, so this is our text box, st.text area. Now again we are checking it should not be placeholder text, and now for generating our text completion part, we have to create again pipeline, and there we have to mention text generation. Within this text generation object, we have to pass the actual message, and again we have to dump the result in JSON and load the JSON. And what our area of interest is only generated underscore text key, so we'll be getting the result of this key. And again we are joining it, so it should be in proper format. And now we are writing the results using st dot, which is it. So this is the whole flow of the web application. And in the end, we are passing main, because this is our main function which we want to actually run when. So as you can see, this is our main function. So you can now understand that how we can create such an interactive web app with such a low amount of code. We can only focus on our actual logic and the code, the machine learning part, the NLP part, which we want to use, and rest everything will be taken care by our Streamlit, the UI component. Okay, so that is the best part of Streamlit. I hope you like this video, and if you want to see a complete explanation of all the code, how we have built it, so we have done a detailed write-up of this. So if you have to just visit wisdomml.in, and if you just scroll down, you will see this building NLP app using spaCy, HuggingFace, and Streamlit. So if you click it, you will see the complete write-up, how you have to install Streamlit, everything we have mentioned, and with the complete code. So you can use it, okay, for building your web app using Streamlit. And the whole code is also given in our Git repo, which is mentioned here in this link. So I hope you like our video, and I hope you like our video, and I hope you learn some new technologies in this. Okay, that is Streamlit, spaCy, HuggingFace transformers, spaCy, Streamlit functionality. So this will really help you in building your portfolio project, your project which if you want to show to your client, to your team members, then this is the best platform for Streamlit. Thanks. Thanks guys for watching our video, and stay tuned for our next videos in the coming. Have a good day.